Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. Today we have on Joe Soto. Joe was a California high school state wrestling champion, Bellator champion, and as a lot of you guys kind of know, Joe, he fought TJ Dillashaw for the UFC title on short notice, and almost went the distance with him. Went 4.5 rounds, and Joe just recently opened up a gym in Porterville about a year ago now, and he's running that. But looks like it's going pretty successful from what we kind of talked to him about today. And he's also battling a couple of injuries or surgeries and recovery from some injuries, and we kind of got to talk about that. And you'll see him wearing some glasses today. That's the reason. He's not trying to act all cool, but it's the eye. So it was cool to sit down and talk to Joe today.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We're going to talk about his come up, talk about, the journey and kind of where he's at nowadays, with his whole gym, his business going on in town, which is going very, very good from what he mentioned. But I'm not too much of a fight guy. But here sitting with Joe, he definitely sparked an interest more to the sport for me. And I wasn't expecting that. But the guy, he has some good stories. He has some good sound advice for the youth and the community, and it's going to be exciting to share this one with you guys as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's been there. He's done that. He's went through the ups and downs of the sport, and he went to Iowa Central and got to kind of wrestle and compete with Jon Jones,
Best of the best,
Colby Covington. He's good friends with Cheeto Vera. Trained at Alpha Male with Uriah Faber and Cody Garbrandt and TJ Dillashaw, all these guys. So he brings so much knowledge, not to just a podcast, but to the community of Porterville and his new gym. So we're super excited for him and very thankful for him taking the time to be with us today. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Joe Soto. Yeah, for sure. All right, so we'll go ahead and let's get started here. So Joe Soto's with us, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for taking the time out of your weekend to join us on the Quest for Success podcast. I know you just you have glasses on. You just had eye surgery and recovering.
Not because I'm cool or anything. It's just because I had eye surgery and my eyes kind of bugged out, and it's either this or the patch. So this
he's not one of those douchebag guys who just comes with the glasses on now.
Sunglasses look cooler than a patch. So
we just need the flip flops.
Yeah. So thanks for joining us, man. I'm excited to kind of talk about what you've been up to the last year. Opening the gym and recovering from eye surgery and everything else that's been going on.
All the fun stuff.
Yeah. So we're going to start off with a little mental minute, get it kind of warmed up here. Zach, I'm going to have you kind of jump in the first question here and start it off.
Let's start off hot right here with question number 1. Who is your favorite combat sports fighter or fighter you have the most respect for?
That'd probably be different. Like my favorite combat sports fighter is probably like Nick Diaz or BJ Penn. Like those guys are kind of, I love their game. I like Nick Diaz a lot because he looks like just a regular person. Like he's not all yoked and crazy. I feel like he's just like an average day. If you look at him, he's just like a regular person, but he's just smarts and fight IQ to get through some of these more athletic competition. So him and BJ were my favorite fighters. Fighters I respected all of them. But, like certain fighters that took it a longer way to get to a championship or had a rougher road, I respect those type of fighters. Like Michael Bisping, coming back from that knockout loss to Henderson. And then he was always getting to that number 1 contendership and then losing. He'd always get there, going to fight for a title, but he would lose. And then finally got over the hump when he beat Luke Rockhold. Like Michael Bisping, I respect him. He basically fought with one eye too, towards the end of his career. So that kind of stuff. That
a lot of people didn't know that for a while.
Yeah,
he was just
I knew he had eye issues. I didn't know it was like basically one eye.
Right.
And it takes a lot of balls and a lot of heart and a lot of to want to accomplish your goal. You're willing to you got one eye. You're willing to go blind in the other eye. So like fighters like that, respect. Carla Esparza, she was the first female world UFC champion. Yeah. And she lost her bout to Joanna years ago, and she just recently fought her way back to another title victory. So like fighters like that
and Charles Oliveira.
Yeah, fighter just like Charles too. Fighters like that, those are the type fighters that I respect because I know how hard it is. How easy it is to just give up or accept that you're not going to be a champion one day, but those guys kept pursuing it, and that's that's really hard.
Joe, we've talked about this, I think, before, but what's your most memorable, I guess, fight moment?
Fight moment? I mean, I don't know. I guess the most memorable fight, I mean, everybody knows the Dillashaw fight was a crazy one. That was probably the most memorable fight experience and everything. I've had so many, though, you know, like on smaller promotions, too, where I might be sick before a fight, and you know, I fought Tachi one time, and I was really sick the night before, and I almost pulled out of the fight. You know, I just had a bad weight cut, and you know, got sick, and I almost pulled out. But I was about to have my daughter, so I was like, I gotta go through. I needed the money. We're about to have a baby, so I basically thought I was gonna get my ass whipped, you know, and I kind of just was dealing with that. Like, okay, I'm gonna go in and lose, but I was able to, you know, come out with the victory. But yeah, like those moments, like overcoming and overcoming doubt, and not just doubt, but I really thought I was gonna lose, you know, and then surprising yourself, like, oh wow, like you're stronger than you think.
Gaining that confidence too, you know, fighting through that adversity.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, that's the most part. Most of the time, you're going into a fight, you're either sick or hurt or nothing's perfect, you know.
You're never really 100%.
It's rare where you are, you know. But you know the other guy, something's wrong with him too, probably.
Right.
Yeah, it's like almost all these guys you see, and I mean, there's some that will kind of use it as an excuse, but a lot of them, it's just like, hey, like coming in with knee issues or whatever it is, right? So,
yeah. Last and final question: what does it mean to you to be a fighter?
Means I look at it as like a fighter, yeah, but like a martial artist. You know, I'm just an artist, and I express myself through combat sports, and that's kind of how I look at it. Obviously, I mean, we put ourselves through a lot, and you have to be a fighter. You have to be tough, be mentally tough. But I look at it more as, you know, I'm an artist, a martial artist, and I study that art form, and you know, try to express it the best I can.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. If you go back, I mean, because you go back hundreds of years, whether it's jiu-jitsu or karate or whatever it is, it's an art form, right? And you know, trying to always perfect that art form. So,
but there's a lot of fighters that, you know, there's artists, and then there is fighters that are just, they love to fight and tough and mean, and
the street fighter types.
Yeah, the street fighter types. I don't know if I was that type. I guess part of me was, but a lot of me just wanted to perfect the craft and just learn as much as possible, and I was really into technique, you know. So
yeah, I always kind of like to go back and like I said, we've had conversations before, but like, let's kind of take it back. You know, you grew up in Porterville. I mean, you're going to go on to become a state champion at Porterville High School, all this stuff, but kind of growing up early on as a kid, what was kind of that energy like? What was the dynamic like? What did it all kind of look like for Joe Soto?
Like growing up as a kid?
Yeah,
I was just into sports. You know, I had 3 older brothers. They were really good at football in junior high. And, you know, once they got into high school, they kind of messed up a little bit. But so I always kind of wanted to be like my brothers, really good at football. That was kind of my main focus a lot. I was pretty good in Pop Warner. But, yeah, I was just trying to outdo them. They had big names growing up, so I kind of wanted to follow in their footsteps. But, yeah, I was just really into sports. But I was into martial arts, too. Like, I'd watch Bruce Lee movies, Van Damme movies, and I'd be, like, in the backyard, like, practicing punching.
What age was this?
I don't even know.
Pretty
probably
young.
Like, I was young, like, probably 7, 8, 9.
So you were kind of already engaged into it, like pretty early on, watching Bruce Lee and all these guys.
Yeah, and then like I did see a UFC. I'm not sure how old I was. I might have been in 4th grade. I seen a UFC, and then I seen Hoist win. I'm not sure. I might have been in 4th grade, but I seen Hoist win, and I asked my mom, you know, to put me in jiu-jitsu. But I mean, there was no jiu-jitsu around here, so she ended up putting me in Shotokan karate, and I did that for a bit until I was old enough to play football. I did it for like half a year maybe, and then I turned 10, and I was old, and Pop Warner started, so I just got out of that and started playing football.
Yeah, and then it was quite a few years till you actually started wrestling, right? I mean, you didn't start at Bartlett. You were 7th, 8th grade, middle school at Bartlett, right?
I started in 8th grade. I was planning on it. So when I was about like 4th grade or something, I went to go watch my brother wrestle. He was a freshman. He only wrestled like a year. I went to go watch him wrestle, And then I remember messing around with one of his friends. He was a 3-pounder. Had him on my shoulder, and I was spinning him, just messing around. I remember, I think Coach Jay came up to me and was asking me to come out for the freestyle team. And so I would have, I mean, I don't know why I never followed up on it, but I would have started in 4th grade, but I ended up not. But since that moment, I kind of had it in my mind, like, oh, I want to wrestle in high school like my brother did. So, so that was my plan, like my freshman year. But in 8th grade, my friend was wrestling. He was on the team, and I went to go watch him. And after the dual meet, I talked to one of the coaches, and he kind of convinced me to come out for the team.
When did you meet Tim Vanni? When did he come into play?
I met him, the first time I met him, he was at a tournament, and I think he was watching one of my matches maybe, or I seen him at a tournament. I walked up to him and said hello. I was in 8th grade.
Did you know too much about him, his background or anything like that?
No,
not at the time.
Not at the time. I think probably, I mean, I can't remember that far back, but I probably heard that he was, the Olympian, or maybe I can't even remember, but I think I just remember he was a Porterville coach, but I didn't know too much about his background. I was still like a baby to the sport. That was my first year in 8th grade.
Because when we had Tim on the podcast, he talked about kind of seeing you in 8th grade at a tournament or something like that, and actually watching you, because that was kind of the first time he heard of you and your name, because he knew you were going to be coming up into his program. So it was kind of cool dynamic.
Yeah, it was. I jumped into it, and at first it was a struggle. I won my first match by pin, and then I got pinned in my second match. And I just remember every tournament, like, I would place, but I would place like 4th or something. Like I would lose matches.
Is that just because you're green, or because
I was I didn't know anything. Like I remember the first day of practice. So I went in for for the first day of practice, and one of my friends, he's small. He was small back then, but he's big now. He's bigger than me. Josh Metcalf. I wrestled. We were teammates later in high school too, but he had experience. Him and his family, they were all wrestlers. So, but my first day of wrestling practice in 8th grade, I was probably like 120. And he was probably like maybe 100 pounds. And they had me wrestle with him. Like, I remember just putting him in a full Nelson, souping him, like doing like a bunch of WWE moves. They're like, that's illegal. That's illegal. And I'm like, what the hell? Everything's illegal. Yeah, so I don't know. I was doing like I was into the WWF back then. So I was doing some of that shit. And yeah, it was
off
fun.
the top ropes.
Yeah, so I didn't know anything. But what I developed pretty quickly was a double leg because of football. I played football for a couple of years by the time I was in 8th grade, so I got the concept of spearing people, so just changing levels and basically doing a football tackle.
Right.
So that's what I developed. I had a really good double leg, and I didn't get tired, and I never got tired.
I mean,
just go.
Those two sports just go like hand in hand. I mean, you look at so many guys. I mean, Jim Short talking about it. Just you have to have that low center of gravity, those explosive hips, and all those kind of things align with playing football too. So it's like just
you're doing hand fighting,
right?
Pumping.
It's all leverage, right?
Yeah. Hips too. Yeah, hips are really important in wrestling.
So your brother was wrestling. You said your older brother.
Yeah, he did like a year. He wrestled a year, one season.
So obviously not just, early on, but he's going to have an influence on you getting into it as your friend does. So what's that? I mean, you had a very successful high school career, obviously winning a state title under Tim Vanni. So, I mean, what was that kind of, I guess, stretch like from being so green, getting pinned at practice and not knowing, doing WWE moves, your first practice to, eventually going on to winning a state title in California, which is pretty, that's high level. California is one of the top states in wrestling. You look at all these schools, Buchanan, Clovis. I mean, they're some of the top programs in the nation.
Yeah, no, it was crazy because even my freshman year, I wrestled JV pretty much all year, and then at the right before the Menachie duel, I won my last wrestle off versus the senior, so I was able to wrestle varsity, and I had to beat him 2 out of 3. I beat him. He beat me early in the season, like 1-0 or something crazy. And then I came back and beat him 1-0. And then Tim was like, you got to wrestle him 2 out of 3. And then I beat him again 1-0. And then, so like I barely made varsity. I placed 3rd in league that year, my freshman year. And then at divisionals, I ended up losing. And then I come back my sophomore year and I take 7th in the state. But it was a lot of work in between that, after my freshman year. I wrestled all summer,
So what's your mindset during high school? You know what I mean? You're still fairly green, right? So like, what do you like? How do I get better? What do I need to do? Who do I need to see? You know what I mean? What's that mindset like?
Yeah, it was just learning. Like I just wanted to learn. So I would record my matches and I would see what I would do wrong or right. And then I would record like the better wrestlers, like some of the state placers or whatever. You know, the guy's ranked. They're like, oh, that guy's ranked. I would record him. That guy's good, and I would record him. And I had to go home and watch those matches, and then I'd see like moves that he would do, and then I'd go back to the gym and practice those moves. So stuff like that, just trying to learn. There was no YouTube back then, so like, you know, now you could just YouTube moves. You know, that lucky. Back then, I had to like I had a girlfriend in my junior year of high school, and her mom's brother wrestled at Oklahoma State. So she had all these national tournaments on VHS. You know, she had recorded. So I got all those, and I would just like put them in, watch them, slow them down frame by frame, and then I would see the moves they would do, and I'd go practice them.
That was like a gold mine.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was like, what the hell? Like, yeah, I had VHS tapes, like, of all these good wrestlers. So stuff like that, wrestling over the summer.
So wrestling was an all-year type of thing for you?
Yeah, the only time I took a break was during football season.
Okay.
You know, and that was the only break, which is probably good, you know, didn't take that stress off. But, yeah, I did freestyle all summer, and then I was lucky enough, like after my freshman year, I did freestyle tournament, and I ended up taking fourth. Top 3 go to nationals. So I took fourth, but I had a broken hand. I broke my hand in the first match. And I wrestled back to fourth, but we petitioned on the team. So I was able to go to the national tournament, but I went to the training camp for nationals too. So they had all the best wrestlers in the state there.
Right.
And I was able to wrestle a bunch of them and learn from a lot of them, you know, and make friends with them. And they would show me moves, and I'd come back to Porterville and practice them. So
yeah.
That kind of stuff, you know, kind of got me better, all the extra stuff.
What year did you win state? Was it your junior or senior year?
My senior year.
Senior year. And what did you place your junior year?
My junior, so I took 7th my sophomore year. My junior year, I was ranked number 1 in the state going into state. It was like a crazy up and down season. You know, I'd win. You know, I came in ranked pretty high, maybe number 1, and then I lost a few times, and you know, I'd take out a couple of good guys, and yeah, a bunch of us would kind of rotate. But going into state, yeah, I was ranked number 1, but I didn't play, so I ended up having some close matches. Well, one close match actually, and yeah, I didn't place in that, so I came back my senior year and killed it.
So how did you take that loss though? I mean, what was at that point?
It was tough. It was tough. I mean, because I didn't even play, so like, and then I lost. Like the loss was, it was against a guy that wasn't even ranked going into state, and he ended up taking 2nd that year. He just wrestled me tough, and basically it was a 0-0 match. He won a 0-0 match because we both got 1 point for stalling, and then it went into double overtime. So he rode me 1 period, and I rode him 1 period, and overtime, no, we took each other down, so we went to double overtime, and you get to pick top or bottom, and I rode him out, so Tim says pick top because I'm gonna ride him out again and win the match. And I go, hell no, I picked bottom. Because he rode me out, so I was like, hell no, if he rides me again, he deserves to win.
Right.
And he rode me out, so I basically lost that 0-0 match. And then on the wrestlebacks, and that broke my heart, you know. And because then I had to cut weight that night too, so I had about 5 or 7 pounds to lose that night, and I'm cutting weight, crying on just, you know. And then I come back the next day, and I wrestled this other kid, Teddy Astorga, who's like a 4-time state placer. And I'd wrestled him early in the season, whipped him, like teched him. We had wrestled at the Fargo camp before, and I beat him, and he ended up sticking me. He was really good on top, so he took me down. And once he got on top, he was just really good, stuck me. Yeah. So, but coming after that season, you know, it kind of broke my heart. I don't even know if I wanted to wrestle the next year, but obviously it takes a couple, you know, weeks or months or whatever to get over it mentally, and then just, I'm going to come back, just getting that mindset like, no, I'm going to come back. I have a goal. I'm going to come back. And
would you say that was kind of like a defining moment for you? I mean, every athlete has that, you know, that defining moment. Like, do I really want to do this? Is this really my thing? You know?
No, I knew I did. It was just getting over the heartbreak, and then kind of looking back and seeing what I did wrong. And I think a lot of it was the weight cut to, by the time I got to the end of the season, I had been cutting so much weight because I cut down to 25s. By the time I got to the end of the season, I was ready, like, I'd say burnt. Like, I was ready for the season to be over, So instead of, like, being excited about state, I was like, I can't wait till the thing's over.
Not just physically, it's also mentally now.
Yeah, I was just so, and I think I cut weight wrong, too. That was kind of my first year of cutting down. Because I started in 8th grade, I started at 120. And then freshman year, I was at 30s. And then I cut down to 25s for my sophomore year. My junior year, I cut back down to 25s. So going into my senior year, I was like, all right, I'm not going to cut that much this year. So I could have went 30s, but I jumped up 2 weight classes and went 35s.
Did you handle most of your weight cuts, or was somebody guiding you through that process?
Tim probably helped a little bit, but no, I pretty much did it on myself, and I know I did a lot of things wrong back then too.
I'm sure you learned a lot, though.
Yeah.
And it helps your business now, possibly.
Yeah. So I learned a lot, but after that, even towards the end of my career is where I started learning more.
Right.
A little bit more, but getting better about it. But I'm still.
I don't think you really ever, get it 100%.
Yeah.
Because your body's constantly changing.
Yeah.
You're getting older. There's all that maybe muscle loss or muscle gain. Your body's constantly changing. So I don't think
it's like a really science now. Like, and I'm not still, I'm still not there. I probably would. Like, if I was come back, I wouldn't come back to fight. But if I did, or if I was fighting at this time, I'd probably get with somebody who knew a lot more because I don't know enough about it.
Sure.
Yeah. So just before we kind of move on to the next step of your career, what was the difference? I mean, during your senior year, did you change anything? Your training, your diet, or anything? Like, what was the difference?
No, like I said, like I just kind of went up a weight class, so I wouldn't dehydrate as much. And then,
so that was a big difference.
That was a big difference, and I was still new to the sport. I wrestled 3 or 4 years already, so I was still developing my style and what works for me, like go-to moves, like
perfecting it. Yeah.
Yeah, like I didn't really have that many go-to moves that I knew that were gonna work. But after that, I need to have go-to moves, like because I lost a 0-0 match, so I'm like I need some moves that I know that are gonna work. When it's a 0-0, I'm gonna try to get this move because it's my best move.
Right.
So just getting better everywhere and just improving. Like I said, knowing my go-to move. So then, like my senior year, I knew my single leg was good. So then I started working on that, and I kind of knew I could rely on that in tough situations. But I was just, finding out my style, my moves, my attacks.
Now, away from the sport, you're one of the top now by the time you get to a senior, right? Mm-hmm. What did you have to do different socially? As a senior, you're in high school. There's people may not understand what you're trying to do and trying to accomplish. So, did your social life change at all at that point?
That's a good question.
Not really, because I kind of was the same way throughout my high school career. Like, I didn't really go out that much, hardly ever, And I just on Friday nights I was cutting weight or running or doing. I never went out. I just
you had your priorities.
I was always practicing, trying to get better. Every night I was practicing. I was busy, So I didn't really. The only time I ever went out maybe was during football season. So
that you said that was kind of like your break, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Break. Yeah, but pretty much
you were on it.
Yeah, I was on it.
Yeah.
Like, nothing really changed as far as that, like socially.
Yeah. What did it kind of what was that feeling like when you finally won state title, California state champ, after all that hard work? What was that
it was
feeling
crazy.
Like?
I mean, because you think the year before too is overcoming that. That was probably just that was fresh in my mind. So as soon as I got backstage, I hugged Vanni and Coach Jay, and I was crying, because I came back and did it. But it was a long journey. It took 4 years. You have one goal you set your freshman year, and it takes 4 years to accomplish it. That's incredible. So it sets you up. Okay, now your goal set, and you learn the goal set, and you learn that sometimes you're not going to get that next week, that goal next week or next month or next year.
Right.
Sometimes it's going to take a few years.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a lot of things ups and downs, and a lot of things that are going to try to stop you, roadblocks. It was crazy because I used to I think once I found out about positive affirmations, I think Vanni told me about it. It might have been my sophomore year, freshman and sophomore year. I wrote these signs, I am a state champion, and I put them all over my house, above the door frames, in front of the fridge, by the toilet. So I had all these signs, I am a state champion, I am a state champion. And it was cool, senior year finally. finally getting it.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a 2-timer though, you know, but it didn't work out. But yeah, but I was still able to get the state championship.
I mean, there's this town has a lot of wrestling pedigree throughout its history, and if there's a kid right now wrestling and a talented kid, what would you tell him to kind of if you, knowing what you know now, I guess, and let's say you're talking to your younger self, and any of these kids listening kind of hear this, but what would you kind of tell yourself now, knowing what you know now back then, how to reach that goal, and what would you tell these kids? I would just tell
like a kid just to show up.
Show up. Consistency,
like, man, just to show up. Like, people say,
that's hard as is.
Like, show up, and every day, like, show up. That's it. Like, I mean, that's half the battle right there. It's like, just show up.
Right.
Like, I get guys that want to be fighters, and they say they want this goal and this, and then they miss a practice here and there. Or they miss 2 practices.
They add up.
You're like, I'm a retired fighter, and I'm showing up to the gym more than you. Like, that's a big part of it. Just show up. And then work hard, and not just work hard, do the extra work, like outside of practice or after practice. Like, that was one thing about me. Like, after wrestling practice in high school, I would stay after. And nobody had to tell me to. Like, I would just stay after, and we had a dummy on the wall, and I'm just hitting shots on it. Same shot over and over, over and over,
sounds like
over and over, over and over.
That's funny.
That sounds
basic ass shit that's boring as hell.
Yeah.
I fell in love with it. Like, just one shot, trying to perfect it. Boom, boom, boom.
Repetition.
Like 3 shots. Where a high C, single leg, and a double leg, just over and over, over and over and over.
Perfecting your craft.
Just getting crazy with it. Yeah, like falling. Yeah. So just, I mean, showing up and working hard and doing the extra work. There's always somebody working. So you gotta. That's one thing. Show up, work, do the extra work, and just know that there's somebody trying to outwork you.
You got to be your own self-motivator.
So, yeah,
right?
you gotta do. So it's kind of hard. Like, so I don't know if you could teach that, or some people just have it. You got to be like self-motivated.
Yeah. I think Jim Short said it. He said, everyone's going to practice. What are you doing different? Like, what are you doing extra? What are you doing different? 'Cause everyone's showing up to practice every day, but I mean, not everybody, but like, let's say football practice. Everyone's showing up every day. So what are you doing different that outside of practice that others aren't doing?
To get better, to get the edge.
Right.
To get the edge on somebody.
There's a whole lot of other people outside of Porterville, So you got.
I like literally when I was training for fighting, especially at the beginning of my career, I really thought in my head I was the hardest working person in the world. Like, I would just work so hard. I thought there's nobody outworking me right now. Right. It can't be. If they are, they're on steroids. Cause this shit's crazy. Like, I was just rolling.
And that's nothing against them. I mean,
that was just my mindset. Like,
exactly.
Nobody's outworking
you knew
me.
exactly the work you were putting in. You know what I mean?
I couldn't believe somebody would outwork me.
Right.
So,
and it's not like, this is what you're saying to yourself, you know what I mean? While you're in a dark room, going through your repetitions and stuff like that. Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be, though, man. Every single guest has said the same exact thing.
Yeah.
And they've all done incredible things. So any kid that's listening, it's like, you got to be your own self-motivator. You got to do it.
I wonder, though, if you could teach somebody that, or if it's just in you.
I think it's...
if you could build up to it.
It's to me, it just goes down to passion. You got to have passion for it. You know what I mean?
Love it.
It's like...
I love it, but yeah.
It's hard. You could get a kid and he's running his head through a wall, and if that wall never breaks, they're going to just stop. But there's got to be little cracks, in front of you to be like, okay, something's going, something's working, and then boom, you break through that wall and it's game time. It's off to the races. But that's just I can't imagine you, in high school. Just I wish I wasn't much of a wrestler. I don't know too much about the sport, but I've trained them, like girls like Charlotte. And a few others. It's like their mindset. It's such an independent sport. Don't get me wrong. You get your help. You get your help from people who have done it, and been there, done that. But it's just one of those sports where that mindset is just different.
It's fun when you find somebody like that that's just crazy. It's obsessed too.
When I was training that Charlotte in here, it's like, all right, Charlotte, 10 sets, run through the wall. Okay, well, which one? You know what I mean? It was like, but you're right. It's truly fun for me to be able to get my hands on one of those, and it's awesome.
That's my favorite people, like the people that will just listen. They'll do anything. Like, they're just willing to do anything to be the best, and they don't question anything.
Right.
They don't talk back. They listen.
Yeah.
Coachable.
You can tell they're just coachable.
Yes sir,
Like
no sir.
yeah, and that's it. They don't. Oh, but I don't like doing this. I do this. No, I'm showing. Like, I was never like that. You show me something, I wouldn't disrespect you. Even if I didn't like it, I would still train it. But most of the time, I was open to anything, any kind of technique. Like, oh shit, that's cool. You know, maybe sometimes I would say, I don't really like this, but I wouldn't tell you that.
Right.
I would still train it. I'd do anything the coaches said. So I was a pretty good, student that way.
Yeah, you student to the game.
Yeah. So obviously you're going to start fighting MMA eventually, Tachi, Bellator champion, and fighting for a title in the UFC, all this stuff. But where did it begin for you? I know you had a lot of kind of mentors and people that were already maybe doing it, but what was that transition from, you win a California state title. Did you have kind of future outlook? Did you want to go wrestle like at another level internationally, or did you want to go into the fight game right away?
It's hard to remember kind of what my thought process was. I know I kind of didn't want to wrestle. I didn't really think I was going to wrestle. I didn't, like my junior year, I didn't really think I was going to do anything after, as far as wrestling, after high school. And then I had a girlfriend. I met her mom, and it kind of got me thinking like going to college, and I ended up eventually doing that. But I always had fighting in my mind, and I always knew, like I said, watching those Bruce Lee movies, seeing Hoist,
right.
And we'd watch UFCs ever since I was young, before it was big. So I was kind of like, I want to do that. I want to do that. And I remember in high school too, like one of my friends, one of my teammates, might have been a sophomore, junior year, probably junior year of high school, going up to the Eagle Mountain, watching those fights, and we're like, oh, we're going to do that one day. We're going to fight each other. We're going to fight each other for the belt or something.
Yeah.
And then, so I always had fighting in my mind. But yeah, so I kind of, wanted to do that after high school, but I ended up going to Iowa Central. I was like, all right, let me go do this college thing, wrestle over there, and then once I'm done wrestling, then I'll start fighting.
How were you in the books? How was that?
Not good.
Not good?
So growing up, it was just never a thing. My parents never really got me into the routine of doing homework, and I'd come home and like I was more focused on sports and stuff like that. And
yeah.
And when I was home, when I come back from practice, instead of going and hitting the books, I'd hang out with the people right there on the street.
Yeah.
And I had a bunch of friends around there, around the neighborhood. So, doing nothing, we just playing basketball and stuff.
Yeah.
I just never got that work ethic as far as school, and it kind of sucks because I had a lot of opportunities that I missed out on, like looking back. But that kind of stuff, I think, unless somebody kind of instills it in you growing up, it's kind of hard later on in life.
Yeah.
And I was just hard-headed too. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. I just wanted to do sports, and I just didn't. And I was, like I said, I wanted to fight one day. That was my biggest thing. Even the college wrestling, like I said, I didn't think I was going to go wrestle in college. I wanted to fight.
Yeah, so it's always kind of a goal. And if anyone knows anything about Iowa, wrestling in Iowa, it doesn't get bigger than that. But when you were at Iowa Central, Iowa Central alone's got, a lot of talent that kind of came through there. Cain Velasquez was there previously, prior to you. And then you were there at the same time as both Jon Jones, Colby Covington, and some other guys. So what was that dynamic like being in a room with, just straight savages? Today, these guys are, fighting for titles and have won multiple belts and whatnot.
Yeah, no, we had a crazy team there. Literally, they were crazy. But, yeah, they were all, really good wrestlers, really good competitors. Everybody was tough. A lot of fights in the room. A lot of hard training sessions.
Like actual fights?
Like actual fights, yeah. We'd hand fight. So we'd get to practice, wrestle for about 45 minutes, do conditioning, and then, all right, shirts off, hand fighting. So we'd hand fight for like another 20, 30 minutes. And
jeez,
coach would be like, if you guys ain't going hard, we're going to keep going. And then eventually people would try to throw each other down the stairs because the wrestling room was upstairs.
Oh, man.
People were pushing each other into the weights. One time somebody grabbed the weight and threatened another person.
So did any like real fights
no,
like go
fights,
down
yeah,
like
fights from
so
there.
like
Damn, that's
real like
intense.
anger like real
people
combat
went to the
like
hospital,
I'm
yeah.
pissed off at
People
you.
are trying to go home, man.
But it was cool though because like after practice, it was nothing happened. Like we were friends.
It's all
Yeah,
good.
just-
shake hands,
It
whatever.
was
What's
just-
done is done.
It was just really competitive in the room.
Yeah.
Damn.
You know,
Yep.
so like
So
it was
flick
nothing
of a
personal.
switch.
Like me
Yep.
and Zach would beat the crap out of each other. I'd be poking him in the eye or doing something illegal, and then after practice or whatever, we'd just be best friends.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like that. That's what and then a lot of those guys were wild, you know, partying and stuff. I went out and watched them, you know, fight at some parties too.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was fun. I mean, we had fun, but everyone worked hard, especially Jon Jones.
Yeah.
John's he's a social guy.
Yeah.
So he likes to go to parties and do that. He was really social, and but you know, we had practice like at 5 or 6 in the morning at the YMCA pool workouts in the middle of winter out there in Iowa, and John would come in late, or not late, but he'd come in and he'd just be freaking, did you go to sleep last night? And no. And then he'd be in the pool and we'd be doing, you know, pool, swimming back and forth, laps. And
So he would just show up pretty much being out all
and
night and show up.
win the lap. Like he'd probably win the laps and then come back and rest and like sleep in between the lap and then go again. Like he was a worker. And then when it came time for competition, John would he'd switch.
Worked hard and played
That's
hard.
He hit a switch and then like he would just change. The person would change, and he was just a gamer too.
Did he have any influence, like just, I mean, obviously his work ethic? I mean, like to play hard, but he worked hard, and I mean, the guy's like he's just got that raw, natural talent too. Like he's just, I mean, and he's got the genetics too. The guy's
he has
just
it all,
crazy.
but I think
yeah.
the main thing is he's just a gamer. Like when it comes time to game
Yeah.
time, like you can
That I don't think you could teach.
you can't teach.
No.
that.
You can't teach that.
Even I
Yeah.
don't have like you know, sometimes, but him every time. That's the difference between like really great champions and everybody else is like they could perform all the time, no matter what. Like they
High
just
level.
perform. Like they're gamers.
Yeah.
There's a difference between a gamer and just regular people.
Right.
Those guys they flip the switch every time, no matter what, and that's how he is.
Yeah. I mean, if you take away, I mean, some of the antics outside of the cage, I mean, the guy he would be the greatest MMA mixed martial artist of all time. He probably is.
I think he is. No, and I'm not even biased. Like, I just think he is.
Yeah. I mean,
he kind of like hurt himself as far as that because he's been so much time away from the sport, getting in trouble. He'll get suspended for a year here and there. But I mean, he's undefeated basically.
yeah, and no one's ever beat. I mean, I think he's got that one, but it was like a
even
no
more than
contest.
Khabib because I think he has a longer, history.
Yeah.
Khabib just, I mean, kind of quick with it. He kind of left really early.
Yeah. How about Colby?
Colby's tough too. Colby's just.
Were you wrestling at the same time? Like, did you guys?
Yeah. So me and John, we went on a recruit trip together. We roomed our first year together. Second year, Colby came and roomed with us too. And him and John there was 5 of us, me and my friend Jimmy in one room, the other 3 guys in the other room, and he was in the other room with John. It was a 2-bedroom, and he was my roommate too.
That guy has like his cardio and stuff. His work ethic and cardio is insane.
Yeah, that's just how it was at Iowa Central. I mean, all of us were like that. Just don't get tired.
Yeah.
And then we had long practices, so we got used to like, just going past these exhaustion.
Yeah.
There's like you get exhausted, and then pretty soon you think you can't do it anymore, and you
keep pushing,
in that
push that threshold.
Yeah.
You don't even know how you're doing it, but
yeah, Colby's a guy. He'd go 7 rounds. I mean, guy. I mean, those.
Yeah, I remember it. Yeah, I remember when he came in his freshman year and wrestling with him, and he was tough. He'd always beat me because he's bigger, anyways.
Right.
But, I like wrestling with him. He was a good workout partner. But like I said, all those guys in Iowa Central were tough. We've had a lot of fighters come out from there. So
Is there any other ones?
There's another one right now. He just won. He just beat Darren Wynn, I think the guy.
Just on this last weekend?
I think it was, Phil Halls.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
from Iowa Central
too. I think I met him. I went back one year and met him. He's from Iowa Central. Who else is? Can't believe. I don't know if I'm. Yeah, I think that's it. I think those are the only ones so far.
So breeds winners. It brings tough. I mean, you got to be tough. I guess sounds like to wrestle there.
Yeah.
I want to bring it right back to you a little bit more. I want to talk about your first experience walking into the cage, the very first time you stepped in. What was that like for you?
I was 19, so
19.
Yeah, so I don't know if you're probably naive and everything at that age. You know, you're not thinking too much. I don't have a family or kids or nothing, so you're not thinking about none of that. But I was confident because
where was it at?
At Eagle Mountain.
Eagle Mountain.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was confident because I was 0-0. The guy I was fighting was 0-0. And I'm like, there's no way he has the experience I do. I was like, I just won a state championship.
Right.
I wrestled in front of 9,000, 8,000 people. Placed at nationals, took third in the nation. I've been to all these big national tournaments, state tournaments. That's why I was confident going into it. Or else I would probably have been more scared. Obviously you're going to be scared a little bit, but I was pretty confident because I know I had the experience of competition more than this person.
Right. Would you ever say you feared going into the cage? I mean, to me, when people talk about fear, I mean, it's self-imposed. Fear is self-imposed. You create it, you also can destroy it. You know what I mean? So did you ever have that, oh, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure you got butterflies, before every fight, but what was that like?
I think fear is good too because you need it because it keeps you on your toes.
It's real. It makes you know that it's real.
It keeps you sharp because, there's a threat. It's a real threat. And but I think you get so many. That's the most alive you feel is before a fight because you get all these emotions. Mm. You get fear. You're confident at one moment, but they're coming and going, and you're trying to hold on to the.
How did you stay calm? What was your method of it?
Just thinking about all the work I put in, and then just focusing on situations. Like, okay, if I get in this situation, what I'm going to do here,
right?
Or,
you're playing it out in your head,
visualizing fights in your head, but like I said, some fights are different. Some fights you're more, you got more of the fear. Sometimes you're more confident. Like I said, like going into a fight, I taught you when I was sick. I thought I was going to lose. I was scared. And another time I fought in Mexico City on short notice and a week's notice. I didn't really train for that fight either. And I was going up to Mexico City on a week's notice. I lost 20-something pounds of water weight. And I kind of thought I was going to lose that one too. I was like, if I don't finish this the first round, I was like, I'm probably going to gas out because it's high elevation up there.
Jeez.
So I was scared going into that fight too because I was thinking in my mind, like, oh shit, this is going to be like me fighting underwater, like holding my breath. So I was, I had fear going into that one, but I ended up overcoming it, and getting the win first round.
That's badass.
Submission, but
that's cool, man.
Yeah.
Dig deep.
I think you're being light about it. You know what I mean? Of the pain and the struggle that you went through.
No, that week was hell week. That was like one of the worst weeks of my life. Losing all that.
Was like a last minute call to.
Yeah, it was a last minute call.
Like that's giving me goosebumps because I can't imagine what that felt like for you physically and mentally.
And then I straight up had almost an anxiety attack. I thought I was having anxiety. I called my wife. I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I can't breathe. I gotta go to the hospital. I literally can't breathe. And she's like, did you drink a cup of coffee in the morning? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, oh, it's just the coffee because I was on empty stomach. I was like, she's like, I've been like that before. So I just calmed down. I did, But, because I had to lose 22 pounds of water weight. Dang. So I think I was 162 or something. And then I got down to, they asked if I would take the fight at 35. I said, I can't make it. So we did it at 40. And then I lost 13 pounds the night before. I had 13 pounds the night before the cut. It was intense. That was tough. That was tough. And then I remember I was dying and I was in a little cocoon. Had all my sweats, plastics on. I had just worked out. They put a bunch of towels over you to keep the sweat going.
Yeah.
I remember Tony Ferguson walking up to me, getting a cold towel, putting it on my head. He's like, hey man, keep it up. You're right there. You're right there. Just positive words. But yeah, that was a tough one. That was just a tough weight cut because right when I found out I was getting the fight, all right, drive down to Irvine. We're gonna work you out, or whatever. So I left here and I was just drinking gallons of water, trying to flush out my system, and shit.
I mean, you haven't even mentioned food yet. when did you touch food?
I mean,
you know,
my friend Chito Vera, who fights in the UFC, he's doing really good right now too.
Yeah.
He was making the food for me. He was making like spinach and I don't even remember, maybe ground beef or something like.
Yeah.
But very little. Like I used like eat as much spinach as you want. He's like, and then give it a little bit of protein. But I remember driving down, drinking gallons of water, having to stop, because I was pissing a lot. And he was just trying to like, he said, I think I was drinking like 2 or 3 gallons a day, or something, leading up to like, I forgot when I cut it out, but that was a hard part too, because I remember I was drinking so much. One time I freaking felt like I was gonna drown. I think I started throwing up. I was overdoing it with the water.
You gills, man. You start growing gills. So, it's crazy.
But I remember that was a tough. When I made the weight, I started crying. And then after,
that was an accomplishment.
That was an accomplishment.
You know what I mean?
That was like
it's such an emotional process. Right? It seems like
it was tough.
And so you have your wife and your kid at home at the time.
Yeah,
and
I mean that's a big reason why. I mean, like I said, I think I'd fought 4 times. I was 1-3. Yeah, and I just fought out my contract, and they called me, hey, you want to take this fight, short notice? And I was like, hell no. And they're like, come on, you got to take it. I'm like, no, I'm not taking it. I was like, nah. And I go, where's that? Mexico City? Oh, hell no. Because I remember Cain Velasquez had fought there in Mexico City. And he had lost to Verdum, and they said because he gassed out because it was high elevation. So I was like, hell no. And he was like, well, you want a new contract? It's in your hands right now. I mean, we could wait for a new one, or you could just take this. He's like, it's in your hands.
Wow.
And I had like 10,000 in the bank, I think, at the time, and I was like I know that number was gonna go down, so I was like, all right, I'll take it. He's like, they'll give you a new contract for more money. So I ended up taking it. I had my daughter at home, so ended up taking it and making the weight and winning. But after the weight cut too, like cramping up, dealing with that, right after that shit hurt.
Jesus.
Oh man.
So what was the recovery process after all of this has been done and said?
Just hydrating back up. I can't remember, exactly what we did.
Did you take time off? Like how long?
Oh, you're saying after
after the
fight?
After the whole fight, what do you do now?
I can't remember. I can't even remember after. I just remember that was. Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure how long I took off. I'm pretty sure I took a while off though after that one.
Yeah.
It was a good. I'm not sure what my next fight was though, but I think it was a good time. I had a big gap in between my next fight.
Yeah. So, I mean, early on, before the UFC, you're fighting. You were fighting in what organization?
Well, I was fighting before the UFC. I fought in Bellator.
And you were the Bellator. Yeah. You won the title, right?
I fought Tachi, and then I fought Bellator, and then I won the title for Bellator. And I ended up losing it, and then I ended up fighting at Tachi, losing there, and then I was because I had a detached retina. So after my Bellator, when I lost the title, I ended up detaching my retina in my left eye. And then took about a year off. I came back, which I think I came back too early. I don't think mentally I was over it. Recovered from that, the injury. And then I ended up losing, So I went, like my first 9 fights, I was undefeated, won a world championship. Then I lost 2 in a row. But then after I came back, like I said, I lost 2 in a row. I was about to retire, and
you're still in Bellator at the time,
or not yet? They released me.
Okay,
I had another eye surgery, like a lens replacement.
So released because of the injury and time off.
Yeah, and then I was gonna stop. Came home, opened a gym, like a just small little gym, and then I was training fighters, and then one of my fighters just kind of convinced me to come back, and I ended up coming back, winning 6 in a row. 6 finishes. It took over a long, a few years, and then getting a call up.
So what was that? What was the kind of what was it like getting the call from the UFC? Were you expecting it, or what was that whole process?
Well, shit, I was getting frustrated because I was, I had like a good win streak, 4 or 5 fight win streak, and I was like, damn, there's still. And then I got a 6 fight win streak, and then a couple of my friends got signed, and I still didn't get signed. So I was like, man, they ain't never gonna sign me. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I came from Bellator. So I was kind of bummed out, and I was almost going to be done with fighting too, I was like, damn, all right, whatever. And, finally got a call for a short notice fight. It was like a 2 weeks notice.
Yeah.
So I mean, I was excited. When
Right.
I was like, all right, cool. Now I could die a happy man. I made it to the UFC.
Yeah.
Like, but then I went to eye doctor and they wouldn't clear me. So I was like, oh shit, kicked me out. He's like, yeah. But then I ended up going to a different eye doctor and they cleared me. And but I was like kind of scared that I wasn't gonna be able to fight in my first UFC fight because I didn't think I was gonna be able to get cleared.
Right. And I mean, you end up obviously getting cleared to fight. How did your first couple fights go?
Well, the first fight fought Dillashaw. Lost.
Was that was your first fight?
That was my first fight.
Okay,
yeah.
So kind of, and I mean, we've talked before about this, the kind of process of how that fight happened. But what was that first, like getting a call for that? I mean, your first UFC fight, you're fighting for
it was
title.
already short notice, right?
Originally you were going to be on like a prelim or prelim. Okay,
yeah. So I was going to be on a prelim, and I was cutting weight. Cut weight, had a tough, not a tough weight cut. It was just,
you're fighting at 35s or?
Yeah, I was fighting at 35s.
Yeah.
And I got done cutting weight, was at the hotel just waiting for the weigh-ins. Waited a couple hours, so I was just dead because every weight cut's tough. And I get a call while I'm like laying on the bathroom floor, just waiting to go downstairs so we go hit the weigh-ins. I got a call to go downstairs and meet with the promoter. Hey, it's the UFC. My friend said, and then so I talked to him. It was the promoters. They said wanted.
Who was it, Fertitta or not?
No, it was Sean
Shelby
and I forgot the other guy's name. Oh, Joe Silva.
Joe Silva. Okay, they're the ones that kind of make
they
all the fights.
They
and
like,
everything.
Hey, we want to talk to you. So I go. They go, you know what it's about? And I go, yeah. You guys want me to be on the main card because I seen Henry Cejudo's opponent had just left to the hospital or something.
Yeah.
So I thought they wanted me to fight somebody else. Because Cejudo just went to the hospital. But he was like, oh, something like that. So I went back downstairs and they basically told me, hey, Burrell's out. He can't fight Dillashaw. Do you want to fight Dillashaw? And I was like, hell yeah. And then I was like, how much am I getting paid?
Yeah.
And then we kind of talked that out a little bit. And I just took it.
Nice. So that, I mean, and did you feel like, obviously going from the prelims to literally headlining the card, fighting for a belt. I mean, that's a huge jump. It doesn't get a bigger jump than that, right? Did you feel like you could win that fight?
Yeah, because I had trained with them that summer,
this is back when, so they're at Alpha Male, right?
Yeah, they're Alpha Male,
up in Sacramento.
Sacramento, because like I said, I didn't think I was going to get signed by the UFC. I'd won 6 fights straight, or at that time it was 5. And so my friend was close to Uriah Faber. He used to train up there. My friend Poppy's Martinez, and he was like, so I told him, I was like, hey, I'm probably not. I mean, this was my thought process. I'm probably not gonna be able to go to the UFC. So I want to know how good I am. So I go, I want to fight. I want to go train with the best guys at my weight in the world and see, I could have.
Yeah, and they were all in Alpha Male at the time.
They were all there. So, so I tell Poppy, hey, hit up Uriah. I want to go train over there. I want to go train for a couple of days. And so I hit him up, went over there, and I trained with him. And I realized that I could be a world champion, I could be on any given day. So
yeah,
I did really good. So Dillashaw was my toughest he was the toughest person there. So and it was like a close go. Like I couldn't tap him. We didn't spar, but I couldn't tap him on the ground. Like, so I was like, oh shit, he's pretty good. Because usually just in jiu-jitsu, I tap everybody. So I couldn't get him on the ground. And then wrestling, we wrestled for about 40 minutes. And I got one takedown and he didn't get any. And then
you had kind of, I mean, you guys had kind of sparred and practiced a little bit together prior.
Like I said,
how long ago?
We just grappled.
So. How long ago was this before the actual fight?
Like 2 months, 3 months.
Okay,
2 or 3 months, maybe. Maybe about 3, maybe a little bit longer. But yeah, so I kind of figured like, okay, like I said, we were close. I wouldn't spar though, so
okay,
it's a whole different game. But so I knew like, okay, like it's gonna be tough on the ground too to tap him, but I'm right there. Like like I said, I took him down. He didn't take me down, but so we're close. And I know it's gonna be a tough fight, but I knew I could beat him.
Yeah, Because I seen you just posted that picture on Instagram the other day, and it's got, like, if you look at that picture,
Cody.
Cody Garbrandt,
Dillashaw's not that one, but he's in another one.
There's someone else, just you, like, man, that just a bunch of savages in that camp.
And Cody I think he had just moved there, and and he was tough too. Like, after I left there, I hit up my manager. I'm like, hey, there's this guy Cody there, like, freaking, he's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Cause I grappled with him and he was tough. I was like, oh shit, he's tough. And I heard he was really good with it, and with his hands. I seen some of his fights. Oh shit, I was like, this kid's gonna, and ended up becoming, like, years later, ended up becoming a world champ. You know.
Right. So, what was that process? That whole kind of walk us through briefly that night. You end up making weight, obviously a tough weight cut, but what's that kind of that next morning waking up? What's that fight day process for you? Just mentally and physically preparing for that fight.
Yeah, it was weird. Like, I don't know. I was confident. It was just so, like, it's kind of hard to. It was just so fast. Like, it was just hard to kind of comprehend everything too.
Yeah.
But like I said, I was confident going into it. But I guess I didn't. Usually before fights, and the fight was short notice anyways, like, because I got on 2 weeks notice I was supposed to fight somebody else, but usually you have months to kind of process everything and, you know, go through the worst case scenarios, best case scenario, and process everything. But this was so fast that I don't even think I had enough time to get nervous for it, you know. But I was ready for the moment. Like, I'd fought for world titles before.
Yeah.
I'd been main event, like, almost all my fights since I was 21.
Yeah.
So I thought going into the fight, I thought I was going to win. I thought, like, okay, this is meant to be. Because it was so crazy.
Yeah. I always wondered, like, what's that? Because, that fight, like, literally, it was in Vegas. What was that fight at Vegas?
Sacramento.
It was in Sacramento. Okay. Yeah. So Sacramento, and obviously back in his hometown, whatever, Alpha Male's hometown, but you're fighting for a title, main card, pay-per-view. Everybody's watching, millions of people on pay-per-view. At the time, you're probably not thinking about all that, but, like, what's that moment walking into the cage, and what's going on in your head?
I was so long ago. I can't even remember. Probably just, I felt like I was confident though going into it. I thought that was the moment I was gonna win. Like, I was like, oh shit,
yeah,
this is just meant to be. It was so wild.
What was your walkout song?
It was Mano. What's it called? I forgot what it was called. It was always my walkout song. All the Above.
Okay, All the Above.
All the Above from Mano.
Mano.
It's a good song.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, I was kind of, obviously you got all these emotions. Like, I say for the most part, I was really confident. Obviously you got doubt and all these things trying to come in, and they do come in and out of your mind while you're walking in or while you're warming up.
Right. Were you pleased with your performance after? I remember watching this fight.
I was pleased. Obviously I think I could have tried to wrestle more.
Yeah.
But considering everything, and I thought I showed up for the fight. You know, sometimes in past fights I hadn't showed up. I thought I showed up and fought well, and I had a mental lapse though. Going in, because I knew I was down on the scorecards, so going into the 5th round, I had a mental lapse. Like, I was on the stool or something, and I was like sitting there, and I was like, "Well, I lost the fight, but at least I didn't get knocked out." And then I went out and kind of, didn't stay sharp or didn't stay engaged. And that's like a thing about TJ. Like, when you're in there with him, well, he's fast as hell too, and he's good technically, but he's just like, you could tell he's like focused, laser focused the whole time, like no mental lapse. That's the thing I've kind of realized being in there with him. Like, and like I said, I had a mental lapse right there. Like, focus went off and he capitalized. I think that was a big part of it.
What was it like coming back home after that to Porterville? Social media, family.
Cool. It was cool. Yeah, definitely cool. You get free stuff sometimes. I forgot where I went. I got some. It goes here and there, and they're like, "Oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it." That's
cool.
So that was cool. And
respect,
then,
man.
It's always fun after fights. Like, your ego gets, inflate it a little bit because everybody's so nice, and yeah, that's always those are the fun times after fights.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you go celebrate after that one, or go right back home?
No, I mean, I forgot where we went. I don't remember. I can't even remember.
So you got.
I'm not big on
yeah,
I'm not
for sure.
big on like partying and stuff.
Right.
Sure.
Just,
After fights, if I do go celebrate, it's with food
yeah.
because that's like my thing. But that's my weakness.
I feel like there's two types of people. You have those people that just go party and celebrate, and you have those people that are
Like
like,
John probably goes and
oh yeah,
tears some places up.
yeah.
but-
But, so I was in Vegas for UFC 200, right? That was my uncle. We were watching it. That was the Jon Jones was supposed to be on that card. 2 days before he tested positive, right? So me and my uncle we're sitting at Twin Peaks in Vegas. Just we're gonna watch the fights and everything before the fights and all that stuff. And that night, and I was getting ready to go to the bathroom, and it was like holding it closed, and I'm getting ready to go, and Jon Jones walks out. So he was just in Vegas. This was probably a low time in his career at the time, but he had just got kicked off the card 2 days before for testing positive. I think it was I don't think it was PEDs. I think it was
coke?
I think it was cocaine at the time, right?
I think it was that one.
And this guy's just still there that weekend, and you just in the what I'm saying, like not like hiding out, not trying to like he's just there, and with all his bodyguards around, and just still partying in Vegas. I was like, what the heck?
It's like Dennis Rodman, man.
Yeah. No, I was never like that.
Yeah,
I just wanted to go home.
Yeah.
Usually after my UFC fights, I just wanted to go home and see my family right away.
Right.
Have fun. I had money in the bank. I just want to go on a trip or something.
That's good. Yeah, you have those people that will go party, and then there's people that are like, how do I get better? Like I'm already like looking or like be with family, but then like how do I get better? Like all already analyzing. But hey, things work for different people, I guess.
Yeah. And so I wanted to ask this question, right? I asked you what was it like coming back to your hometown and stuff like that, back to Porterville. I want to talk about you opening up a business in Porterville. Your gym. What's the name of it?
St. Cal Sports and Fitness.
There you go. So what led you to that?
I took once I retired, I took about 3 years away from everything. I just stepped away from everything. I needed a break.
Right.
And try to process everything and try to find out what I wanted to do next. And I got a job right here at the DC just doing AP, it's asset protection basically. And I was just bored. I was just all right. Like I kind of took my time away from the sport, and I wanted to kind of get back. I was like, damn, I'm just going to work and I'm with my family and everything. And
it's hard going from this to that, huh?
Yeah, I'm like, am I doing the right thing? Just walking away from everything. I still got more to give. Like, got a lot to share. Yeah. So I was like, I think I want to, do. And I was driving by the building one day, and I grew up in the area, so I was like, oh, that building's free, or open. So I hit up my uncle and asked him to find out about the building, and then so I was like, you know what, I want to open a gym. I want to kind of get back into helping fighters and helping wrestlers or
community and the youth.
Yeah, just like I have a lot of knowledge and information that I've gathered over the years, and I don't want to just keep it to myself. I want to help people out and share it. And try to help or influence somebody's life in a positive way, and I think I could do it through sports. So I kind of did it. So that's what I've been doing.
So you opened it up in 2020, 21? 21.
Yeah.
So going on
last year, basically, I think it was like last August, September. So it's almost a year.
Coming on a year, almost.
Yeah.
Nice. It's growing.
Yeah.
I got a couple of kids that come in here. As soon as they come from me, they go, all right, I got to go to Joe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's cool, man.
Yeah, no, we have a good wrestling group, too. I think the highest we got up to like 35, 38 wrestlers.
Yeah, I see a bunch of kids on on the social media page. What's the Instagram?
St. Cal Sports and Fitness.
Yeah, if you follow the Instagram.
Yeah. So we lost a few because they're going to start playing football now. And
right.
But yeah, it's been pretty.
It's very rewarding, huh, man?
Yeah. It's cool.
Like people, they look forward to going to see kids. Like, hey, I'm going to Joe. come on, Mom, let's go. Get in the
Yeah.
car. We got to go to Joe.
And it's
you know?
like a project too. They're getting better. Most of them are pretty new to the sport, so they're fine. They got pretty much a lot of the basics down, and now they're kind of improving a little bit faster. So it's gonna be exciting to see where they take it to.
Yeah, the progression.
Yeah.
So what's it all kind of consist of? What classes are you're offering? What are kind of the times and all that type of stuff you look?
Well, right now we're doing wrestling. It's Tuesday through Friday. So basically it starts at 5 to 6. And then sometimes I think 2 days a week they go an extra hour with Coach Shane Yakuda. But yeah, basically Tuesday through Friday we have wrestling, like I said, 5 to 6. And then after that, my adult classes, I teach kickboxing and jiu-jitsu. So we got basically right now just kids wrestling and adult kickboxing and jiu-jitsu.
Right. Because you're a black belt, right?
Yeah.
Or black belt under Dave Terrell.
yeah.
Yeah. Right on. So I mean, there's a ton of knowledge there, and Dave Terrell, he was a Gracie black belt.
He was a Gracie black belt. He's the first under Cesar Gracie, and then Nick Diaz was the second black belt under Cesar, and then Nate Diaz was the third, and Jake Shields. I think Jake Shields maybe before Nate, but yeah. So
it's always cool to track that lineage down. Yeah. It's like you got it from David Terrell, and then he got it from Gracie, and you could always track it back to the Gracies or whoever that is. So that's cool, man.
Yeah, so it's just been there, and it's been a good year. Obviously, kind of sucked having eye surgery,
right?
But some of the coaches there kind of held down while I was recovering because it was a tough recovery process, really tough.
Yeah. Go ahead.
What's your philosophy that you're trying to teach and present over there at your place?
Just basically work hard and set your goals high.
Right.
Like set your goals high. Like strive to be a world champion. Like believe you could accomplish what you set your mind to. Set your goals high and believe you could do whatever. Anything's possible. And just put in the work and work hard, but have fun also. Gotta enjoy it. But especially with the little ones, like I kind of want the little kids to have more fun.
What's the youngest you go?
6.
Nice. Good.
So it's kind of weird because like I feel like the little ones should just have fun with it and kind of get techniques down and movements down. But some of the parents are freaking. They want to be a world champion, so it's like
6.
So like I want to play a game or something. They're like, no, make them sprint. I'm like, all right. Like it's kind of hard to figure out what's right for them. They're so small.
What's your vision with the gym? Like, do you have a kind of outlook, a vision of what do you want it to look like down, in 5 years, or is it just kind of riding along, kind of just helping these kids?
No, I mean, I wanted to get more sports in there. Right now, it's just wrestling. Like I wanted to do kids boxing, kickboxing, and everything. The place is so small, though. Like, I mean, I don't know. I could do it, but I kind of wanted to get everything in there. Like I said, boxing and kickboxing and stuff. Right now, we're starting out with the wrestling, and that's like most successful. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to just stick to that, just stick to kids wrestling because it's so big here.
Right.
But I wanted to offer more, and maybe I will. But right now I'm just kind of right now we're sticking to kids wrestling, and then obviously with the adults, I want to, help out people in the community as far as like self-defense or getting in shape, with kickboxing or jiu-jitsu. But I want to develop fighters too, and give them a place. Fighters that have a dream to be a world champion, give them a place to go or.
Yeah,
place to train.
That's awesome. Do you have a little team of kids kind of fighting right now?
Not kids, but yeah.
I mean, like younger guys,
younger adults. Yeah,
young adults, I should say.
Yeah, we have like a good group of, I'd say like 4 to 6 amateurs maybe right now.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe more. Yeah, about 5 to 6 amateurs. Yeah, so they're all pretty new to, basically new to fighting, so they're still working. They still got a lot of work to do.
How about law enforcement? Do you guys have any police officers or anything coming in there, or have you guys kind of looked at that entity? Or
I've helped. Some. We had the Porterville SWAT came in one time, and I did a class with them.
Mondo, huh?
Yeah,
I remember Mondo going in there.
my little cousin Mondo, he's bigger than me, but yeah, he brought them in, and then once in a while we'll get. I think we have one correctional officer in there, but usually we have a few CEOs training in there, and yeah,
that's cool.
Sometimes we get some law enforcement in there. An officer here, his kids are one of them is in there, but yeah, so he had a couple of them in, but now just one, because we got rid of the kids kickboxing because it was kind of slow, and then the wrestling just took off. So I was like, let me just focus on the wrestling right now.
Quality over quantity.
Yeah.
How many kids do you have?
I'd say probably close to 30.
Yourself.
Me?
Yeah, just yourself.
Like close to 30. You're like, damn.
Uh-oh.
When I wasn't training. No, I have two.
You have two, boy, girl,
a boy and a girl.
Have they caught interest in it?
No. My daughter did.
She did?
Yeah, so I was trying to convince my son. And as I was talking to him, she's like, I want to wrestle. So then she did it.
Cool.
And she did it for a while, but she just recently stopped. So, and my son doesn't want anything to do with it. He's only 6, though. And I don't know. Everybody's different. Like I said, like I didn't start playing sports till I was 8. My parents would try to put me in sports, and I was like a little baby.
Vanni was 7th grade.
Yeah, I think Tim was 7th grade.
I think I played flag football when I was 8 years old.
Yeah.
So I didn't start till late. Every kid's different. So
you're not forcing it on them, So.
I don't know if I should, though. I don't know.
Right.
I debate it sometimes.
Yeah.
Because, like, should I kind of force him to go there, or should I not?
Yeah.
Let him, my dad never forced me to do anything, ever. He was just there and supported.
Right.
So whatever I did, he just supported me. He showed up. He was at every practice usually, all the games or matches. And but he never forced me to do anything. He never forced me to go run. He never said, hey, you should go run. So I don't know. I just never grew up like that with the parent forcing me. So I don't know if I should do that to my kid. And I've seen a lot of, it goes both ways. I've seen parents force their kids and they end up being really good. And I've seen parents force their kids to do something and they rebound and they end up having a bad relationship.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What do you think about that?
It to me, it just depends on the type of relationship you have with your kid. Like I wouldn't necessarily say force. I always say more encourage. Like kind of put them in there a little bit more often and stuff. Like, again, I get 100% what you're trying to say. I have seen, I could honestly say hundreds now of parents force their kids, and more often than not, it ends up a bad situation.
Yeah.
That's why I don't want to push them away from it. That's why I'm just like, if he wants to, and like I said, I kind of stumbled into it and I fell in love with it. Nobody had to force me to do anything. So I don't know if I just should let him find his own way.
Right. I mean, I have a 7-year-old son, and he's not always like, Dad, I gotta go to the gym. Let's go to the gym. He's not like that with me. But when he's here, it's game time. Like he's ready to do it. You know what I mean? But he hasn't really like Dad, are we going to the gym day? Dad, let's. You know what I mean? So I'm just.
So my kid wants nothing to do with it. I'd be like, hey, you want to go? He doesn't want to be there. So I'm like, I don't know.
But your daughter's, when she was doing it, I mean, she was in it. Like she was aggressive.
Yeah,
she
was liking it. And then,
student of the game.
Yeah. So, she did for a few months, but yeah. So I'm just, I don't know, not forcing.
Yeah, I've seen. I'm sure you guys have too. Like, parent forced a kid, not forced, but like kind of really push, and they're very successful, but it ruins the relationship.
Yeah.
Like at the end.
I don't know if they're gonna do sports. Maybe they're gonna do music.
More books or school.
Like, I don't know.
Musically inclined or whatever.
I don't know if I should just let them find their own way, like I did. So I'm not sure. Like, why do I have to force them to do sports?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Sports is a good.
It's a good outlet,
It
especially nowadays, man. I mean, kids are brutal. They're brutal, man.
But he's 6, so I'm thinking probably this next school year or the following, like, hey, we got to do some kind of sport or some kind of
activity, something.
Like,
you
can't just be at home.
So I tell kids, like, as an educator, it's like, get involved in something. It doesn't have to be sports. It doesn't have to be this. Like, get involved in band, music. Go, whether it's wrestling or dance or drama. Get involved in something, because I promise you, once you get into high school, if you're involved, you're going to have so much more fun. And
then sometimes I'm like, maybe I should like kind of force him a little bit to do it, because what if he grows up and he's like, how come you didn't make me wrestle?
You do if you don't. Damn if
so
you
I'm
do.
like, I'm just, it's a battle. Maybe, and I overthink things all the time in my head.
I'm the same, man.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what's the right way to attack this?
Right. To me, with my boy, I always just I present the opportunity, and how he responds to it, I'll let it be for now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and I'll keep presenting it, and I'll present it, and through time, if he keeps denying it, all right, I'm gonna shut it down, because I don't want to get to the point where I lose you as my son.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But if he starts to pique interest, whether if it's from watching me or watching his peers, all right, buddy, I got it all for you. Let's do it then. You know what I mean? And it's just like your boy has you, all your knowledge and all your experience and everything. So if that light ever flicks,
I know
it's on. It is on. You know what I mean?
I'm waiting for it, so we'll see.
You know, so but that's
young. Like I said, I didn't start until I was 13.
Right.
So
I mean, Coach Sort, he says something too, though, right? You know, about you're either born a fighter or you're not. You know, he mentioned that earlier in his podcast, where he just basically said, like, God either made you one or he didn't, and it's just hard to teach it. You know,
there are some of those things that are just you can't teach it. It's like, I mean, you could get better at certain things, but some things you're just born with.
Yeah, I was born and this is what I am.
Yeah, I think that's and like I think peer groups is. You listen to a lot of people. Why'd you get involved in this? Well, I had a friend that was doing it, or a brother, or a sibling that was doing it, and then I started doing it and fell in love with it too. So I think, you know, who you surround yourself with, your peer groups, the kids growing up, they're gonna find friends and different people where maybe Billy's wrestling. I'm good friends with him. I'm gonna try it. Maybe they fall in love with it. So you just never know what direction it's gonna take.
We'll see. I kind of I offered to him, but I want him to find his own way, his own thing. It might not be wrestling. So,
and until then, you got 30 kids that are hungry and ready to show up to your classes and stuff like that. And that's cool, man. That's awesome. I truly feel like if you decide to grow this, you easily can. You know,
absolutely.
And I hope you do.
Yeah, I hope so.
You know,
it's going good so far. So and I think, they enjoy it and I enjoy it.
Dude, the guys that I have in here, man, they love it. They absolutely love it.
Good. That's good to hear.
They're eager. Yeah. That's cool. So let's talk about, you were kind of mentioning before the podcast, obviously you have sunglasses on because of your eye surgery and recovering from that. You kind of talked about it's been kind of a difficult recovery. What's been that process of the eye surgery and the recovery?
It was freaking tough. Well, I should probably explain what happened.
Yeah.
Well, last year around this time, I was having eye issues already. My vision was getting really bad in my right eye, so they did I think it was surgery last June. I had a hole in my retina and some fluid in there, so they did a surgery. And I think they did a lens replacement too. I can't remember.
Painful?
Last year wasn't. Last year wasn't too bad. I'm pretty good. This time, it was on my birthday. I shouldn't have been sparring. I know I shouldn't spar no more because I have bad retinas. I have had a few eye surgeries, but some of the amateurs were sparring. I was like, let me get in there and do a couple rounds on my birthday, and I literally did maybe 4 minutes, and I was sparring. Got hit a couple times, nothing crazy. I was moving my head. I started seeing a flash of light on the corner of my eye, so then I was like, oh, that's not right. Something's wrong. So I stopped, and then I started I felt like I had a little fogginess in my right eye, and then the next day. I think I got hit with the knee while I was grappling too really hard in my jaw. And then I started seeing a little black in the corner of my eye. And then I went to work. It was like a Friday. Started seeing a little black. Saturday, started moving over more. And then by Sunday, I could barely see my hand in front of my eye out of my right eye.
Wow.
And I was like, shit, I hope it's not a detached retina. And I was just hoping it was fluid because it didn't look totally black. It looked kind of brownish.
Right.
And I went to the doctor, and at first they thought it wasn't detached. They thought it was a fluid, and then because they did an ultrasound on my eyeball, and then I went back the next day, and they're like, "Oh, I think it's a shallow detachment." And then, so we went and did surgery, and it must have been bad. It was detached, and they put a buckle around it, which was I guess something like a band that holds your retina closer, tighter. So, it was just a bad surgery. It hurt. The recovery process was tough. The pain.
Yeah.
There was a lot of pain. I had a few eye surgeries before, but this one was the most painful one.
Just uncomfortable? It's just
Oh, it freaking hurt. It felt like somebody I didn't take any pain meds either. And I just remember a couple of days, like, well, they gave me this medicine for inflammation, but it was giving me bad heartburn, so I stopped taking it. And then when I stopped taking it, damn, like, it felt like somebody, like, it's like stinging, like, on the corner of my eye here. Like, it felt like somebody elbowed me. Like, somebody elbowed me in the face, and, like, it just hurt so bad. Hurt so bad I cried, like, twice. Like literally.
Wow.
Hurt so bad. And then my dad had some ibuprofen and 800 milligrams, and once I took that, it was cool, you know. But it was just really painful. And then, like, the first couple weeks, my eyes were just so sensitive. Like, this, even my good eye, like, I would have to sit in a dark room for, like, hours because, like, it just hurt to open my eyes.
Right.
But yeah, it was just, like I say, the first 6 weeks were really, there was a lot of pain and swelling. And but yeah, I feel, and then it looks weird, like, it was really small too. So then that mentally, I've seen that, like, it looks different, you know. Broke me down a couple times too.
Yeah. Is it something genetic that you were kind of
with the retina problem? Yeah,
yeah.
I think so. I think it was just, I was just born with. When I talked to one doctor, he's like, you were so farsighted, and the way your eyes shaped, you were going to be prone to detached retinas.
And then fighting.
And then fighting,
yeah.
and then playing football.
Yeah.
Since I was 10.
Right.
I was running back, getting hit in the head. And
yeah. You got punched in the face a couple of times. It doesn't help.
Jeez.
Yeah. So I was gonna, and then I had, like, so when I first started fighting, I had, like, a LASIK surgery done. And I think that's what kind of started all my eye problems too, or kind of made it worse, because, so I had LASIK and it was good for a while, and then it kind of, my vision just got worse and worse, and it went back to what it was, and then I developed, like, a scar tissue over my eye, so they had to go back and, like, scrape it off and stuff, and then yeah, so I always had some scarring over my eye, and then the detached retina thing happened on the side years ago, and then, like, lately it's just been this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the vision's, I could see again, you know, like, dude, I couldn't see my hand. So I could see out of it. It's not what it was, but now using two eyes, so if I close one eye, I could see decent, you know, so if I close the left eye, I could see decent. But if I use both eyes, it's like, I feel like I'm cross-eyed. But what it is, I think this eye, when it healed, like, after the surgery, it's not straight. So I gotta go to the doctor July 10th. They're gonna try to give me these glasses with prism, so that it help focus the eye.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if I want to have to get another surgery, like, later on, probably like 6 or 7 months from now, to kind of keep it straight, or what.
During your career, was there ever a punch or a kick that you just can't forget? Like somebody just got you square.
No, the ones where they caught me, I don't remember them. But there was one time, I do remember, one time I threw a kick, and the other guy kicked at the same time. I hit shins.
Ooh. Oh, man.
And, that one hurt to my soul.
Okay.
Like, it hurts in your, like,
aching, boning.
I was like, oh, I'm going for a takedown right now. Like, that shit hurts so bad.
Wow.
Like, and there's been times like that at practice too, where you hit shins.
Yeah.
And those ones hurt a lot.
I stubbed my toe. I cried.
Have you ever taken, like, a hard body shot, like a kick or a punch, like, to the body?
Yeah, I've never been dropped. The only time anybody's ever dropped me with a body shot was Jon Jones in college.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
That was before I knew he was going to be a badass. So I went first. He was like, all right. So we were like, hey, let's do body shots. He goes, you go first. I go, no, you go first. And then so I went off on him. And then I backed up, and I thought I was out of his range, and he just caught me as I was back.
His 84-inch reach.
I was on the floor, freaking tears, like,
oh my God,
trying to catch my breath. That was the only time I've ever been dropped by a body shot. But yeah, I've been hit with a few. Even in a Dillashaw fight, caught me with one, but just walked it off. It wasn't where it was going to drop me.
Some of those are brutal, like those liver shots.
I've been kicked in the nose before. Like, I got kicked in the face by one of my friends. I was taking a shot, and as I was changing levels, he threw a kick, and I remember my whole mouth was sore, like, for the next
break
week.
your nose or no?
I don't know. My shit's all messed up. No, actually, no. I do remember. Blood came out.
Ooh.
A little bit of blood came out, and I was like, "What the hell?" My nose hadn't bled in years. Like, I was like, "Oh shit." But like I said, my mouth was sore after that, just getting hit in the nose.
Yeah.
But I've been dazed a few times in practice, but like I said, it's anything hard in the cage, not really. Just like I said, if I got caught with the good shot, it was the ones where I didn't see and I was out.
You got knocked out. Yeah.
But they don't sting that bad, punches, because the glove.
Yeah.
But I remember one time I was on the shot, and that guy came upwards with some uppercuts, and the glove wasn't covering his knuckles. And it was like the first time I got punched with knuckles like in a long time, and I was like, "Oh shit, that shit stings so bad." Really, it stings really bad.
Avoid that.
But yeah, with the glove, it doesn't really sting. I didn't really get hurt too much, like feel anything. Like I said, besides that one kick, yeah, nothing too bad.
Other than the eyes, was there any other injuries that lingered around throughout your career or anything like that? No?
I was pretty lucky. I tweaked my knees a couple times, like little pops here and there. Yeah. Here. Popped my ankle one time. A kid had me in a leg lock. He was a blue belt, and I didn't want to tap. Well, I was right after my fight. It was already swollen because some guy was, when I fought in Canada, I was throwing some kicks, and he kept checking them. So my ankle was swollen. It was taped. And I was rolling. He went after the leg, and I didn't want to tap because there was tape on it. So I was like, dude, you just went after my leg. I'm not tapping into this. And I'd let it pop. It sounded like a T-shirt rip.
Oh, man.
Sounded like a T-shirt rip. And he was like, he let go of it. You all right? I'm like, yeah, keep grappling.
Just keep going.
Yeah. And I freaking reversed him. I got on top, and I tried to post on it. And I was like, oh, shit, I think it's broken. Like, I couldn't even put it. I was like, oh, my God, it hurt so bad. And I went for his leg, popped his. And then, yeah, but
man.
That, just like that. And then one time, actually, I still kept, because I was trying to get ready for an EBI tournament. So I kept training on it. And I was going with Dustin Alcabari, who's a black belt from Alpha Male. He used to come down to Porterville and train with me. And that ankle was messed up, and he ended up going for the other leg. And somehow, he went for a leg lock. He didn't really have anything, but somehow I just felt it give. Like, I don't know if it went this way or my knee went this way.
Like a hyperextended?
Yeah, just like a buckle. Like, doo-doo.
Yeah.
Like it just felt like, doo-doo. And I was like, oh, shit. And he was like, did you, I don't know if it popped too. He's like, did you hear that? And I was like, yeah. He goes, does it hurt? And I'm like, nah. And like, kind of walked it off a little bit. I'm like, all right, just keep going. And we trained a little bit, but they felt really weak. And then, and it felt like sometimes when I would walk or I step wrong, it felt like it was going to give.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, I mean, everything healed up well. I've never had a surgery or anything.
Right.
And I don't have any issues.
I mean, that's, so you, like you say, you're pretty lucky then, right?
I got lucky because I never had any surgeries. Like
no surgeries.
No surgery besides my eyes.
Well, right.
So
I mean,
like all these little pops and whatever they were, like probably like partial tears or something in the ligament.
Right.
I mean, never serious enough to have to, or they were never weak enough for it. They don't give me any problems now.
So as you know, as you continue to work your way up the ranks, right? You start to hang around people, that are maybe more knowledgeable and stuff like that. So does your recovery, start to level up as well? Your nutrition, maybe your sleep, supplements, things like that,
Yeah, as far as eating better too, like eating better foods, more organic foods, and being smart of what you're putting in your body. I think that's where I got
pure.
More pure, more organic, and then good food. Like,
right.
When I was young, I was terrible with that. Maybe go to freaking
we
Subway or something. Yeah. But as far as that, and cutting weight, like, instead of dehydrating the whole week, I used to dehydrate a whole week. Like the week of the fight, I would stop drinking water or something, or less water, and just dehydrate all week. And then I know what they're doing different now is just hydrating, flushing.
Right.
And then like the night before, stop hydrating.
Cut it out.
Yeah. So stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any is there anything you would change in like your career, like going back now or no?
No, I don't think so. I've seen that question. And I was like, I don't think so. I think
nothing.
I gave it everything. Like,
yeah.
I tried. I mean, obviously, maybe. I mean, no. I did.
You let it all.
I did. I think I did everything pretty right. Maybe eating better, but like in between fights, stuff like that, not blowing up, because I was I used to do that, but I mean, now I feel like I never really cheated myself. I did everything I could. I think everything is played out how it was meant to play out too.
Yeah, 100%.
So I don't really have any regrets. Like I felt like I gave it my all, you know.
Yeah.
I did the best I could.
Yeah, you could sleep well.
I could sleep well.
You can sleep well, right? Nothing haunts you.
No.
Love it.
That's good.
So like
man.
I find peace in that, you know. Like I don't.
Yeah.
And
Now you be trying to get ready for another one.
That's
You know what I
I'm
mean?
saying. I don't really want to. Like I don't miss it like that. I miss, but I never really. I mean, fighting was fun. Like in the cage was all right. Like I mean, but that was the worst part about it. I like training. I like the freedom.
Right.
Like not having to go to a job.
Yeah.
I like just
the whole experience. Yeah.
Why the people
like
and stuff.
the process more. Some people like the competition more.
Yeah.
And those people are probably champions, right? I don't know. Or like the best of the best. I don't know. But I like the process more than the actually fight.
Yeah.
I like all the other process better. I love training.
That's what champions
I love being in the gym.
You like the part that nobody sees, really.
I like
that's the part.
Yeah.
You know, maybe in the press conference, press conferences. You know, the talk and the talk.
Yeah.
Like that. That was never.
That was not. That part not.
Yeah.
Either. You know. But,
right.
I don't know. I mean, I liked Fight Week. Fight Week was cool. I like being in the hotels. I love hotels just because. I don't know. Growing up in wrestling, you stay in a hotel and you're getting ready for it. It reminds me of competition.
Right.
Yeah.
So I love hotels and. Yeah, no, everything else was cool, but it's just, So I don't miss the fighting part, really. I miss everything else. I miss the feeling after you win a fight. That feeling, though.
Right. Do you miss being like a fight camp with like the whole group?
All stuff like that.
Partners and all the guys.
Yeah, I miss going away and focusing on that and just being around everybody. Yeah, I miss that kind of stuff.
You stay in contact with any of those guys?
Yeah. Not crazy all the time, but yeah.
Check in maybe
everywhere. So I'll stay in contact. I still on a group text with guys from Iowa, from my old college. People from up north, Santa Rosa. I lived up in Santa Rosa for a while. Irvine. I got friends down from there.
Still talk about like Cheeto and all those guys.
Cheeto, yeah. So
that's cool.
Yeah, I got
like a brotherhood.
I got friends everywhere. Yeah, little communities everywhere. Like a second home.
Yeah. Have to get some of those guys to come down here. We could do a podcast at your gym.
Yeah, I know.
That'd be cool.
Gotta get Cheeto or somebody. Maybe John.
Yeah, let's get John and Cheeto, and we could bring all the stuff to your gym, and we could do some.
It's funny because they know each other too. Like
really, yeah.
Because Cheeto used to train in New Mexico, so he would tell me some stories, and I say, "That's John." And then
we'll have to make that happen sometime. I'll bring all the stuff down there. We could could BS and have some stories.
John was supposed to come down to Porterville for. He got in trouble this last time, and we kind of haven't talked to him since. But actually, I talked to him once since. But
isn't there some talks for him gonna fight?
I think so. Then they wanted to fight Stipe, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it's signed deal or anything, but I seen that had kept coming up and coming up.
I'm not sure what's going on with that. I don't keep up as much anymore. But
yeah.
You're a businessman now.
And
a family man. And a family.
Yeah, family man. Yeah, working a little everything.
It's tough to kind of balance everything.
It's a challenge, man. Yeah, but it's worth it.
Yeah,
it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, man. Keep it. Yeah, love to see it on the social media presence and all these kids going in there. So
it's cool because wrestling's really big here too. So I wanted to grow here too.
Yeah,
I wanted to keep it going, and we have a lot of clubs. There's the Misfits Club that run by Marcos. Vanni's doing his thing still at Porterville. I'm doing my thing. So want to keep it going. We need to bring it back to the junior highs though, because I think Bartlett doesn't have a program, right?
I'll talk to you in a few minutes about it, but
but Bartlett doesn't have a program, and
right.
So, we need to get started.
I have some stuff in the works.
That'd be good, because wrestling is big here, and we need to kind of promote it more.
100%.
It's a good sport for the community too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to help out, do what I can.
Any final kind of words like, athlete or anyone listening? You kind of said it, work hard and do those things others aren't doing, but any final words you would tell someone? It's kind of wanting to go on a fight game, wrestling, anything like that?
In the time that we're doing right now, it's
Yeah,
it's
today
hard.
in
It's
today's
hard,
world, because with social media and everything else, it's a different world today.
It's hard, not impossible though.
You got to bury yourself in your work too. Like, I mean, with the social media and everything, like, you got to try to block out all the other noise and just focus on what your goal is. Like, when I started fighting, like, my thought process with fighting was like, I'm going to disappear. I'm going to lock myself in this gym for 2 years. And when I come out and when I start fighting, people are going to be like, what the happened to that guy? That's the kind of mindset. Like, lock yourself in your craft, whatever it is, whatever goal you have, just focus on that, and put work in and bury yourself in that. Show up and surprise everybody. Yeah. But that's got to be your focus. But
eliminate those distractions, especially today.
It sucks though. Like, I missed out on a lot. I mean, not really, but like going out with my friends. Like, I could have did that. I didn't get to go out so much, and I'd be out in Iowa or something, or I'd be in my training, or I'd be up north, living away from, like, I had to move away, and I seen all my friends back home. Like, back then it was MySpace, a little bit of Facebook. You see them, like, pictures together and hanging out, and you get phone calls. Oh yeah, I'm over here with so-and-so. And I'm like, damn. Like, I was away in a different, I was in Santa Rosa, and I'm like, I wish I could be home.
Right.
With my friends, but I had to sacrifice a lot of stuff.
But all in the end, though, it all worked out.
It all worked out, and I have a lot of memories and good experiences, and
not a single damn regret.
No. I like the person I am today. So,
well, yeah. Thanks, Joe, for taking the time to be with us. One more time, where can people, I guess, follow you? Your personal page, your gym page,
Joe Soto 135 on Instagram, St. Cal Sports and Fitness on Facebook and Instagram. Joe Soto on Facebook. So,
and where's the gym located at?
177. Oh, 147 South Hockett. Yeah.
Okay. Right on. So yeah, anyone listening, go check it out. Hit him up, I guess, on Instagram and everything else. So yeah, thanks for taking the time to be with us today. It was an absolute pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. I kind of like what you guys are doing, and seeing you guys talk to Jim and Tim, and giving them some shine and letting them tell their stories. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
We have a lot of good people here in Porterville, and it's cool to you guys give us the place to talk and share our stories. So thank you guys.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what it's all about. We're just trying to tell these stories in a like you said, give them some light, because they deserve it.
Yeah.
And like a lot of these people, Tim Vanni and Jim Short, they've never gotten to sit down and tell their whole story at once.
And it's inspiring too, to hear people's stories.
Yeah.
And it also makes them realize what it takes to reach that level of success.
Yeah.
They get that inside look.
But it's possible too, no matter where you come from, like small town or whatever,
Right.
A lot of people that accomplish great goals come from small towns. So.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think it's cool because like Jim Short, Tim Vanni, all these people, like how many thousands of kids have these guys as teachers and stuff like that. And I mean, I guess some people kind of figure out Tim Vanni's stuff, but a lot of these kids don't even know their background, their history. But then like we have hundreds of kids and stuff that have started following this page, and they start seeing like, oh, my PE teacher played football at Nevada.
It's crazy. I never took it for granted either. Like Tim's the Olympian. Like, damn, like
that's incredible.
I always wanted to be better than that. Like, I wanted to be like
that was the standard. Yeah.
He set a high standard,
Yeah.
And I was always like, I want to be better than that. Like if Tim could do it, I could do it too. And he was inspiration for sure.
Yeah, I don't think some people like realize how like. I mean, literally, the guy's wrestling with Schultz. He was training with the Schultz brothers and wrestling, Sun-Kissed Kids and the DuPont farm and all this stuff back in the, decades ago. And it's like, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Yep. So, and they have the pleasure of having him as PE teacher, coach, and everything else. So, mentor.
Yeah, I got lucky. He did a lot for me. So
hey man, you're gonna be doing the same thing. You already are doing the same thing.
It's all full circle, right?
Yeah,
it's full circle.
I've had a lot of help, so I want to, do my part too.
Build the legacy.
Yeah.
Go.
Well, thanks, Joe. I appreciate
Thanks,
it.
man. Really
Thanks for taking the
appreciate
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
no
you.
problem.